Welcome to the guide to healers in Eureka. So healers have a few options when it comes to trays. There is, of course, the trap tray, which is Wisdom of the Ordained. And then there's the one or two trays you should be going for. Either Aether Weaver, which is simply the Aether Weaver logogram, or Templar, which has a few options. So generally, healers should be going in Templar. And that's just because it has quite a few benefits for it. It increases your maximum HP, which increases your survivability, also reduces magic damage dealt, which, while not a lot, is also really nice for survivability, and very importantly, it increases your magic healing potency. All right. There's, so the elemental bonus that, generally affects damage and kind of other stuff, survivability in Eureka and the Baldaisian Arsenal, doesn't actually increase your healing potency. Right? It's all your stats. And so this is one of the kind of few rare places where you can actually get an increase to healing, which is super nice, right? Because 50% is substantial. And it's really quite helpful. So you can make it with a Skirmisher Cure L2, Skirmisher Stone Skin, or Plate Bearer Cure Stone Skin. So I generally go for one of the first two options. I'll generally opt for Stone Skins because I don't use them for anything else. And then the Skirmisher here. All right, and that'll make us a Templar. All right? So there you go. On the other side of things, of course, so we'll have our Templar again. On the other side of the tray, one of the kind of critical healer actions, and one you should have at least one of in your party, is Refresh. So what Refresh does is that it actually increases the rate of regeneration of Magia. Right? So by Magia, I'm gonna not make this tray yet. By Magia, we mean this Magia wheel over here, which of course dictates where this kind of extra elemental bonus is assigned, right? So we'll actually be having everyone automate the spins on their Magia wheel to match the elements of mobs that are coming up, and so this is kind of going to get used quite a bit, right? So like per mob, you might have a couple per essentially room or whatever. You might have a couple of increases or changes rather in the Magia wheel, and the rate of natural regeneration is quite slow. So that's why we have Refresh. Right? So Refresh is made by a single formula: Aether Weaver, Ordained, and Curl 2. Right? So let's go ahead and make it and see what it looks like. Right? So there's Refresh. You generally want to pair this with Templar, but I'll just have it by its own just to kind of show. Alright, so once we turn on Refresh, let's look at this. This is, by the way, the regeneration of the Magia wheel, and you can see it's a massive regeneration, right? So you could be altering this once every couple of seconds, and you'd still be able to keep up with the rate of regeneration. And you have a ton of uses of this. You'll really only need one trait of Templar plus Refresh, okay? Or Aether Weaver versus plus Refresh if you don't need as much healing in your party, right? So that's kind of case by case basis. Kind of decide if you need Templar or not, because of course with Templar plus, so let's go ahead and gear up to. I already forgot. Aether Weaver, of course. And then on the other side, having a Skirmisher and a Chal, you're at a 50% trait. Right? So, of course, oh man, this is freaking great. Chal, Ordained, of course, and then Ordained Hero 2, and Aether Weaver. As you can kind of see, this is why, bruh. I'm gonna look stupid, but I'm gonna upload this still, because this is why I have this thing on the side, because I do miss things sometimes, and so it's really nice to have a website or a plugin open just to look at things. Aether Weaver, Ordained Cure 2. Yeah. Alright, we succeeded the 50%. Nice. So as you can see, I'll kind of throw this on. and use your Templar. You'll get your Templar up, you'll get some health, and yeah, you got your refresh. Okay? So you'll just kind of use this every couple of mobs, or of course if you have the Magia wheel automated yourself, which you should, and you're spinning from mob to mob, you'll kind of be able to track your party's use of Magia, right? And then use refresh accordingly. It can be hard to remember sometimes, but you know, that's why people can kind of let you know, hey, I need some spins, please refresh for me. Don't take offense to it. They're just kind of, you know, helping you, remind you of your duties. If you don't need refresh, if you have another healer, there's a few options for you. I like to take rejuvenate. Right? So rejuvenate and restores 50% of MP and HP. So this is really nice when you're heavy on mana usage because you're healing a ton, because you can instantly regain your mana, and the recast is only 30 seconds. So it's essentially 30 seconds of you regen your entire, like half your mana bar, right? Which is really, really nice. So this definitely is something I love to use. Bloodbath plus Chal is my go-to. So that's Bloodbath, Chal, and that makes your trait. Right? So I'll show that. And that makes rejuvenate. Right? So yeah. Other traits you can make. You can make Paralyze 3. So Paralyze 3 is really nice. It affects an AoE kind of range of targets with paralysis, right? Which is really nice because it, you know, reduces some of the damage that tanks take, and they can also disrupt any enemy's cast bars. So this is really nice to have. Other than that, you can also have Death. Death is nice sometimes. It KOs targets, and as your target loses more HP, increases your chances. So yeah, generally I take probably rejuvenate. If you have a ton of money to blow, and you know you do, because I'm providing everyone with, you know, lograms and everything, you can also make a bravery. You only really need one per raid. This has some, you know, it uses a guardian, which if you watch any of the other videos, you know is quite expensive. Guardian Ordained Skirmisher, and this essentially lets you give everyone in the raid a 10% damage increase, which is really cool. So, yeah.